Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. For all you focused learners out there, we are essentially putting on our digital detective hats for this one. We're conducting a highly structured digital autopsy, a real descent straight to the bare metal to uncover a catastrophic architectural failure happening right beneath our screens. We are going to explore the hidden flaws of modern computing that are actively threatening human authorship, and, most importantly, how we can definitively fix them. Okay, let's dive right into this extinction event. Right now, a staggering 58.5% of US Google searches end in 0 clicks. Think about that for a second. The web used to be this amazing partner that sent traffic to creators, but because of AI-generated overviews, that traffic is being completely contained. The user just gets a summarized answer, and the open web, well, it's being starved of the vital traffic and revenue it absolutely needs to survive. And this leads us to an incredibly chilling reality that really sets the forensic tone for our journey today. Google is literally a snake eating its own tail. By answering queries before links ever even load, the ultimate answer engine is mathematically destined to consume its own food supply. It's absorbing the open web, summarizing it, and acting as this massive lossy compression engine that completely severs the original human intent from the output. So, to navigate our way out of this, we're going to follow a precise agenda. First, the dead internet spiral, then the wood chipper effect, crossing the semiotic bridge, resurrecting HTTP 402, and finally, true creator sovereignty.
All right, part 1, the dead internet spiral. This is where AI basically eats the open web.
As legacy web structures collapse, we are seeing a massive AI siphon effect. AI overviews are capturing the vast majority of the traffic, and while the mega sites are holding somewhat stable, independent expert sites are just completely flatlining. We're talking about billions of dollars in ad revenue, and the very livelihoods of independent creators vanishing into an uncredited abyss. It's a place where human thought just flattens into a pale imitation of itself, as AI continuously trains on AI. Moving on to part 2, the wood chipper effect. Time to go all the way down to the silicon. To find the true culprit here, we really have to look past the colorful buttons on your screen. Deep inside your computer, there is a literal turf war going on between two radically different characters doing the math. On one hand, you have the floating point unit. Let's call it the FPU gambler. It is incredibly fast, but it relies on secret corporate seed tables to essentially throw darts at a board, just guessing the nearest mathematical truth. On the other hand, you have the arithmetic logic unit, the ALU surveyor. Now, the surveyor is entirely rigid, exacting, and uncompromising. It guarantees that 1 + 1 is exactly 2 every single time, giving us perfect mathematical truth. So here's the catch. Modern AI relies almost entirely on that fast-guessing FPU gambler. And when the gambler estimates the math by dropping microscopic decimals just to save space, actually, scratch that. It doesn't just estimate, it acts like a giant blender. This is the wood chipper effect. Once the exact source data is in and the hardware guesses the math, the chain of title for human creators is permanently destroyed. I mean, you literally cannot unblend that data to figure out exactly who originally created it. And the sheer scale of this flaw is terrifying. An estimated 80 to 90% of modern AI compute cycles are actually just these hardware-level approximations. They aren't exact math. To put that into perspective, the massive AI systems that are reshaping our entire world are fundamentally built on a foundation of hardware that is, at its core, just guessing. Okay, part 3, crossing the semiotic bridge. Let's talk about the deterministic cure. So, how do we actually fix this? Well, to bypass the gambler's sloppy guesses, we have to build a semiotic bridge. Think about human cognition for a second. It's flowing, it's associative, it's wonderfully messy, right? We call this OS alpha. But that ALU surveyor we talked about, it is cold, rigid, and demands absolute exactness. Pure, structured text acts as the universal objective interface here. It's literally the only way we can safely map our abstract human intent flawlessly into the strict logic gates of the machine. Here is how we bridge that massive gap. First, we have to entirely bypass probabilistic guessing and avoid the arbitrary tokenization bottleneck that violently crushes human language. Instead, we deploy perfectly structured text scripts, things like JSON or C code. And here is the ultimate goal. By applying this structured text, we are quite literally tricking silicon rocks into thinking using pure electricity and deterministic scripts. There's absolutely no magic here, guys. It's just physics and exact language.
Which brings us to part 4, resurrecting HTTP 402, the Machine Commerce API. We desperately need a way to turn this mathematical truth into an actionable payment network, but without relying on heavy, bloated legal smart contracts, what developers like to call Ricardian complexity. To do this, developers opened up a literal 30-year digital cold case. Way back in 1996, internet pioneers like Tim Berners-Lee explicitly reserved the HTTP 402 payment required status code. But, humans don't naturally shop through raw server error codes, so it gathered digital dust for nearly 3 decades. That is, until autonomous AI agents finally required it to conduct micrometered machine commerce. Instead of heavy, complex smart contracts, developers rely on what they call chopsticks design. The idea is simple. You don't need a $1 million robotic arm to pick up sushi. You just need 2 sticks. This brilliantly simple 3-step loop works like this. An agent requests the resource. The server fires back that dormant HTTP 402 code demanding payment. The agent's wallet signs a tiny cryptographic proof, and the client simply retries the request to instantly unlock the resource. It allows these autonomous agents to execute secure transactions in absolute milliseconds, right at index 0. And here is the ultimate physical payoff of that digital truth. Meet the FlowX42 CheerBot. It's a localized Raspberry Pi microhost sitting right on a desk. When that verified micropayment hits the surgical webhook we just discussed, the bot reads a mathematically pure last-in, first-out JSON state. This verified mathematical logic is literally translated into raw electrical signals fired straight out of its tiny GPIO pins. Pure math is literally shocking a physical robot into action. The semiotic bridge is real.
Finally, part 5, true creator sovereignty. Let's protect the authors. To save digital creators from that initial extinction event we talked about, we really have to look at how technology is funded. Because, let's face it, how we fund things dictates exactly how they are built. Just to neutrally report on the prevailing theories here. On one side, we have the liquidator VC casino model, a fast, extractive, 2-year hype cycle obsessed with rapid extraction, treating creators like disposable data. On the exact opposite side, we have the legitimacy VC vineyard. This model is focused on a 10-year horizon, building high-trust, compounding infrastructure, where original creators are actually tracked and fairly compensated over time. To support the vineyard model, the network itself must transform into an agentic publishing house. So instead of being a casino, the network acts as a clinical validator. It uses mathematically pure ERC's 7827 ledgers to perfectly track human effort, even capturing exact metrics like 55.5 million tokens of metabolic flux. It strictly secures a creator's undeniable record of sweat, right into the digital substrate. This ensures they are fairly compensated for their literal sweat of the brow. No guessing, just absolute proof. But to make this mathematically pure record of sweat actually survive in the real world, it requires a legal shield. Under the old UCC Article 9, you filed a physical paper statement to secure a digital asset, which, let's be honest, was practically useless against a hacker. But under the new UCC Article 12, the law has finally modernized. Now, actual mathematical cryptographic control legally leapfrogs traditional paper filings. Whoever holds the keys holds absolute legal priority. Math and law are finally shaking hands. So here we are. We now have the exact deterministic hardware, the chopsticks payment protocols, and the legal frameworks to secure undeniable truth for human authors. But if we fail to claim our sovereign power, if we just surrender the semiotic bridge to a guessing machine instead of stepping up to pilot the system ourselves, who truly controls the physics of our digital reality? The future of the web depends entirely on how you answer that. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the architecture around you, and as always, keep learning.